Hello, Mary Lou Cuellar. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good afternoon, evening, Keela, Haiti, and Stephanie. And happy holidays, by the way. I
Yes.
see Stephanie's dressed for the occasion.
Yeah,
And she's muted. She's
right.
dressed for the occasion and she's muted.
I'm Stephanie Prancer today. Prancer.
Very appropriate. Very
Okay.
appropriate.
So, okay, well, I think what is it? 4:42, and is that, I would say that's good afternoon? Yes. So, good
Yes,
afternoon, and thanks for joining us. And I wanted to bring you on so that we can let is particularly the voters in Hillsborough County know a little bit about you, since they're going to be voting for a candidate in the race that you're running in, which is what seat?
group 15,
Group
1-5.
50. Okay, and then the election is next August 2024, yes?
Correct. That's the primary. Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to show your
Logo?
your website. It
Oh, and my
is,
website. Yes.
yes, what is the
That's
URL
it.
on that?
The
Because it
URL on
does.
that is if you go further, well, I would have to get that for you because I don't know that, but all you have to do is click on the different sections
Yeah, I'll
and
find
you
it.
will
Let me
see.
get it. So
So,
it's Mary Lou Cuellar for judge, and it's all spelled out MaryLouCuellarForJudge.com. And I'll spell it out
correct.
shortly, but I'm gonna just go in and we're gonna start chatting with you about your candidacy. So why do you want to be a judge?
I want to be a judge because this goes way back. I have an older brother who's a lawyer. And back when I was at undergraduate at USF, he was in law school and I admired him and I saw what he was doing. I visited him at school and I was very interested in, based on that, going to law school. And he recommended that I watch Criminal Court and I took it as his advice. And once I watched that first murder trial, I was hooked and I understood the role of the court and I knew the importance of what a judge does. And I made it my mission at that point that that was my goal. And so I got into University of Florida College of Law, and I became an intern at the Alachua County State Attorney's Office, where I prosecuted DUI and traffic cases. So after that, they hired me to be a paid, I was an intern there to begin with, prosecuted the cases, and then they hired me to be a paid intern. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And so it gave me the motivation to, be super qualified. So when the time came that I wanted to run for judge, I was well prepared.
Okay, and so I know a little bit about your background because we've had conversations, and so you've given me some information about your history in your career. You started off, I think you said as an intern, but then you also either you did an intern or you worked for the public defender and the state attorney's office.
After I was an intern and worked at the Alachua County State Attorney's Office, I graduated from law school and then I came back to Tampa and I got a job as an assistant public defender because I wanted to do trials and I wanted to get the experience litigating because I wanted to be in the courtroom as much as I could. And the public defender's office allowed me to do a lot of trials, non-jury and jury, most importantly. And so it was a great experience. I worked for two different public defenders, Judge Lucky and Julianne Holt, and got immense experience working at that office and trying cases. And so I've worked on both sides of the bench, of the table, for the state and for the public defender, and it gave me a lot of experience.
And Julian Holt has endorsed you.
She has, and she's on my host committee. And by the way, small plug for my kickoff. It's coming up on February 8th. And It's going to be at Casa Santo Stefano, and at 5:30. And yep, there's my committee. I have lots of retired judges on my committee that I was before in criminal court, and a lot of them. I mean, I have over 10 judges that are personally on my host committee, and including both chief judges from the past two chief judges are on my host committee, and many retired judges that I worked before.
Okay, good. So see, you have retired former judge Dennis Alvarez, James Arnold. Let's see here. You have EJ Salcinas. That's a big name. William
Correct.
Fuente, really good former judge. All of these that I've mentioned. Rex Martin Barbas, Emmett Lamar Battles, Wayne Timmerman. Yeah, you have a lot of former retired judges. Gregory Holder. So yeah, you have an incredible list of endorsements. Very impressive. And so your kickoff is February 8th, 2024, Casa Santo Stefano rooftop. So there's the address, 1607 North 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida, 33605. So great. Do you guys want to ask her anything? And because I'm an attorney and I have a little bit more of knowledge, familiarity, experience with the inner workings of the judicial system. And I like the fact that two of my colleagues here on Florida U Judge, Stephanie Pointer, who's very involved politically.
I see her everywhere.
So, yeah. And Keela
It's
too.
better than seeing dead people. Keela's in a lot of spots too.
Yeah, and I get out and about, so I am running into a lot of people. So I'm sure that I will continue to see more of Keela and Stephanie, and of course Haiti, and out there.
Absolutely. I always like to ask. Go ahead, Keela. Sorry. Go ahead, Keela.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to ask Mary Lou about the basic Mary Lou, who you are, who your family is, what kind of little neat things do we need to know about you?
I have two children, Gabriella and Andrew, and they are adults, and they are. My son is in banking. You're proud as a parent to be able to say they both graduated from university. My son graduated from USF. My daughter graduated from the University of Florida, and she's proud to say she wants to go to law school, and she's taking the LSAT. She works for the office, the firm I'm working for, to learn from the ground up. I'm very involved in I'm in the vice president of programs at the Hillsborough Association of Women Lawyers. I am involved in mentoring. I'm in Kiwanis Club, and we had a party recently where I have a little mentee that I've picked up, and just the smartest child. And I went to see him yesterday and visit him at the school. And the school is very encouraging and just smart as a whip. Just loves to talk and tell me about what he's learning in school. So I love that. Mentoring is one of my favorite things. But so I mentor. I'm involved in a lot of organizations, Greater Riverview Chamber, and so I do a lot of Hands of Hope. And so Children's Cancer Center, that place is near and dear to my heart because I have a family member that they helped us with. And, it was just very important, and it means the world to me to give back. So, and I think that, that is the role of the judge, is to be a reflection of the community. And so I try to be out there and volunteer and know what the makeup of the community is and what the needs are in the community. And that would only make me better at what I do on the bench. And so that's why I stay involved.
Okay, so I
Wonderful.
think you
Thank
wanted to
you.
say something, Keela.
No, I was going to say, I appreciate Stephanie saying that because for me, I'll just tell you right now, I had not been as involved in judicial. I hadn't been paying attention much to judges as they come in. I kind of rely on the community to tell me that because I hadn't been in that space. But recently, I found that I'm paying attention to that because who you are outside of that seat, before you get on that bench, who you are shows up, and who you are is very important. So those characteristics, I'm looking for a judicial temperament that includes a moral compass. I'm looking for someone that understands, that's open-minded, that's patient, that's also has common sense, because sometimes that's not so common. And then who they are and they're not influenced by the politics in it all is also important. So I find that I'm committed this go round to pay attention to the attorney or to those that are running for judge and even state attorney, because that is all a part of knowing who they are before they get there is important, because like I said, they will show up on the bench. So I'm committed to that work now because of my recent opportunity for me to pay attention. So now I need to know. So I look forward to getting to know you more. I will be at the rooftop. That's one of my favorite spots, by the way. So I will
Oh,
be at
good,
your
good.
kickoff. I want to see and spend some time there.
I
So thank you for joining us.
I look forward to seeing you there. And also, you are absolutely right. It's super important to get to know the candidates because that person could preside over a case where, a family friend or an acquaintance, and you want to know that that person is going to follow the law and make a decision based on the facts of the case and not some kind of underlying bias or anything like that. That's what judges must do.
Right. That's a lot that you
Yes,
said there, Keela.
agree.
Like a
It
lot
is.
that you packed in there. As far as one, patience, demeanor, that goes into demeanor. We're not gonna veer off of the judicial candidate interview, but yesterday was a very insightful, great moment that Stephanie Pointer had at City Council, and I'm not gonna say it to go into detail, but she touched upon temperament, demeanor. Okay, when you're in office, you have to have some characteristics, attributes, such as humility. You shouldn't take things personal. Um, you have to set that aside sometimes as a judge and be objective and not
Absolutely.
allow yourself to be biased. It's something you have to follow the law and base rulings just on the law and facts without bias or animus towards anyone. And so that's very
Absolutely.
important, not just for judges, but people that run in the office. And
It's
so, yeah,
essential.
right. That's important to me. At the end of the day, judges are not. Look, today I was in front of a judge who I absolutely admire greatly, appreciate, love the fact that he is a member of the bench, local bench. He's great. He ruled against me. It is what it is, and so you're smiling, Stephanie. You cracked me up. So, but you know what? It's fun. You're funny,
You're still saying nice things about him, even though you didn't get what you want.
right? What a concept.
I
Now,
know. It's crazy.
sometimes I'll get annoyed at rulings for sure because I think this is the wrong ruling. But you know what? If I think that I was listened to and um the ruling is justified by facts and their position is they're saying this is why I ruled the way I ruled, and I think okay, that's a reasonable perspective position. I might not agree with it. I have now the remedy of appealing, but we shouldn't get annoyed and start having animus towards someone when things like that happen because they happen. And so yes, demeanor is important to me with judges. If I get respect and I feel like I'm listened to and my client is treated with respect and fairness, if there's a difference of perspective as how a case should go, that's gonna go a long way for me. Hila,
Mar-
you said a lot of good things with what you said.
Mary
That
Lou, what kind of training do you get to have, or what kind of training is it best to have to be a judge?
That's
What kind of background do you have that makes you a good candidate for that?
when I was working at the Attorney General's office as in Children's Legal Services, I was appointed by the Board of County Commissions to be a child care licensing hearing officer. So that was my first taste of being in a quasi-judicial position. And I presided over hearings, drafted and signed orders regarding child care licensing compliance. So that was a great start to help me, because that was actually, presiding over hearings and making decisions. And more importantly, in 2007, I was appointed by then Chief Judge Manuel Menendez to be a magistrate here in Hillsborough County. And that was very important because I was trained at Judicial College, the same place that the judges that are in Hillsborough County are trained. And then I was presiding over family law cases. I did Baker Act hearings. I even did TB, tuberculosis hearings. And so I got immense experience there. I felt like that was a good training ground for me. And I did that as presiding over cases as a magistrate for 13 years. And so that's what I feel like is an important part of why I'm qualified and what makes me a great candidate, because I have experience in every area of the law that I would need to be as a county court judge. And I have the training that the judges have, and I've actually done the job for 13 years. So I'm a proven entity. And so I could walk in the door and be elected and walk in and get on the bench and get started.
And
So-
listen, just so you know, Stephanie and Keela, that totally is a unique situation. Most of the candidates that run, they don't have that background of actually serving as a magistrate, where they're sitting on the bench adjudicating these matters. That's very unique, and it's a rarity. Most of the candidates, they're lawyers, and then after practicing for a lengthy time, then they decide they want to run for judge. That's unique. You don't really see that's not very common. Okay.
Well, I'm glad Stephanie asked that question, because one of my questions was going to be, recently, like I said, I hadn't had to deal in this space dealing with judges much, but I was on a call. It was like a Zoom, and the judge, was on the Zoom, and different people started to appear on the camera for their rulings or whatever you call it. And I thought to myself, what kind of training does a judge have to have ongoing? As times change, you start running into people with mental illness, you start running into different cultures, different beliefs. And it's a special type of person to separate that so they rule fair and it is just. And I wanted to know, because you don't just show up like that, right? Something has to happen, training, life, whatever that is. And I wanted to know, is there a requirement for diversity or some type of psychology training, something that helps you be able to do that in terms of separation outside of just being a professional? Because we know that that's not everybody. So I wanted to know that. And if there isn't any requirements, why? Because of all the reasons I just mentioned.
Absolutely. That is a fantastic question. And as a magistrate, I went to a lot of the training that the judges went to. They had not only Judicial College, but they had yearly seminars that all the judges and the magistrates were invited to. And it included diversity training. It included the specific training. For example, I covered family law. I was given from the judges, they forwarded cases to me to take care of and make a determination and send back to them. So I got training in family law, extensive training in family law, and to the point that I was ultimately the chairperson of the Florida Bar Family Law Rules Committee. And so that was fantastic experience. And there is a lot of training that the judges ongoing go to, especially in their different assignments. So I got a lot of training in the family law area, but I also was able to select some other training that I wanted to take when I went to these seminars. But there is definitely a lot of training that judges get on a regular basis. But even before that, that's why I geared myself towards certain jobs that would get me in the courtroom and litigate a lot. And currently I'm in private practice and I'm doing civil litigation. So I've rounded out all the areas: criminal, civil, dependency, family, all the areas that I would have to be involved in. And but it is essential for the judges to get ongoing training and keep up with the laws in order to follow them.
And is that optional? Is
It's
it
not
optional or is it a requirement?
There's, well, built in, there's a requirement for all lawyers to get training a certain amount of hours, and there's a reporting period of 3 years. And so the judges get their training from the Judicial College and the judicial seminars that are put on. All the other attorneys, they are getting just CLE training and credits, and you have to do a certain amount every 3 years regardless.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was a great
helps.
question.
All right, Stephanie, you're muted.
You can't hear that. It's retreat. It's time for. I live next to the base, and you can hear this. Can you hear it?
No,
I can hear it. But
Not
anyway,
now that I know what happened.
yeah, it happens at 5:00 every day.
Oh, wow.
So is there anything else that you would like folks to know about you? We don't want to make this too long because we want to make sure that it's compact, that everybody, that you're able to utilize the interview for later for folks who say, hey, I want to know more about you. And you can say,
Oh, yeah.
Florida, you judge. They did a wonderful interview with me, and we would like to be able to share what you've had to say with other people. Is there anything?
So the only thing I would add is that I've got a lot of tools in my area and background that I think will be helpful to me. And in addition, I was at the 13th Judicial Circuit. I worked there doing small claims mediation. As an employee, I had dual employment. I was approved by the Attorney General's office when I worked there to do part-time mediation for the 13th Circuit in small claims cases, which is something that's dealt with in county court. So I have that as my experience. I also was an adjunct professor at Cooley Law School, teaching advocacy and juvenile delinquency and dependency law. So that's part of my background. And I think it helps me immensely with the subject matter and just being able to also help with training of law students and doing that. And also, I feel like it's a great thing to be able to indicate that I have a lot of publications that I've written. And for the layperson, it may or may not, come into play, but it would be chapters written for the Florida bar regarding family law issues and juvenile dependency and delinquency issues. So I did a walkthrough of a bail bonds company, and I had done, preliminary presentation court as an assistant public defender, but I didn't know what was going on behind the scenes, and I thought it was essential for me to learn those kind of things to make me even more qualified and to help me understand how these things work.
Okay, well, it sounds like you have a lot of experience.
Thank you.
Well-rounded. It's not, yeah, not just with the state attorney, but then the public defender. Then you have civil. You've been a magistrate in family law, Baker Acts. So it seems like you're very well-rounded and ready to do the job on day one. And so thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. I know I have had time to have significant interaction with Mary Lou, and I can say that her demeanor is great. She's
Thank
very
you.
humble, and that is another thing that she would bring to that job, that the humilities would be good in that role, and just she's just a very humble, sweet human being.
Thank you.
Okay, so Haiti Oropesa, the Florida judge, and Stephanie, I'm so glad that you joined us today with your antlers. I don't know
Yes.
that you're a prancer. You might be a vixen for sure.
Okay, there we go. There we go. I can be.
Okay.
That's a
And
good one.
I'm sure
Yeah,
what
and
else to say.
Keela, also
Yes.
my bestie. I'm
Yep.
so glad that she's part of the crew now.
Yes.
Well, we wish you the best.
Thank you.
I am going to urge persons to look for your name on the ballot.
That's right.
Thank you so much. And I
Yeah.
I
It'd be a great
appreciate
thing.
all three of you being part of this. It's been great. And thank you so much, Haiti.